Hi there guys, my name's Joby Boughey. Welcome to our Wednesday night training session. We teach people about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Tonight we're in for a real treat. We're going to talk a little bit about what is cryptocurrency, what is a blockchain, and then we're going to bring out an absolute superstar who teaches thousands of people every week how to actually go out and to take this to the world so you can start sharing it in a correct manner. And she's got an amazing training lined up for you guys. So we're super excited to have Catherine Clement on. So Catherine will come to you in a second, and we'll get to hear a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, and why it's such an honour for us to have you on this call. If you do have any questions, guys, please put them in the chat. We'll come to them as and when we can. We'll get to you as soon as we've got a spare moment to come back and answer. But for now, guys, sit back, relax, make sure you've got pen and paper, because this is going to be a very informative training for you. We won't try and keep you too long. We know your time is very valuable, but at the same time, when you've got training like this, it's important that you stay on till the end, because you might just miss that one golden nugget that might be able to change your world, change your life, change your business, whatever it may be. So we're going to hear from a few people around the world as well as we go through the presentation. It's always nice to hear testimonials and get social proof of people actually in the business, in the concept, earning money. And that is what we're here to do. We're here to help you get educated, learn how you can start earning extra money, full-time money, whatever it may be. We're here to help and support you do that as well. So, like I said, I wanted to start this off with a little bit of a cryptocurrency and education program, so you're getting your education up, and because the more educated you are and the more competent you become, the more confident you are to go and share this, which is where we come into the second part of the training with Catherine. So what is cryptocurrency? Why is it so important? Why are we doing these webinars? Why have 25 people already joined us to hear about this? Okay, cryptocurrency for me is a brand new way that we can now transact money across the world. It's the start of a digital economy. Back in 2008, we had a financial crisis. We've got Nick up in Greece and a couple of other people from Greece. They're facing that era again now. There's real challenges in Greece and other parts of the world right now. But when that happened, that financial crisis happened in 2008, a white paper was released at the end of 2008 by an anonymous called Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know if it's a woman, a man, or a government, or an agency, whatever it may be. It was just a totally anonymous. They come out and they said they found a way for us to transact money outside the need of a bank or third-party authority with instant transactions and also practically no fees. Cryptographers for years and years had problems of creating a digital currency because they could never get over the double spend problem. The double spend problem is this, i.e. if I was sending Nick an email or a PDF, I'm actually sending a copy of that. So if I was to send money and I'm sending a copy, okay, that means we're going to be duplicating and counterfeiting money. So the problem was, how do we get past the double spend problem? Well, Satoshi Nakamoto, the genius that he is or was, or his woman, whatever it may be, come out and they found a way, and they found a solution to beat the double spend. And that is using the underlying technology called the blockchain. Okay, so the blockchain is the underlying technology that runs absolutely everything. And it is a verification. So it's just a public ledger, but every single computer in the network of where a cryptocurrency is born takes record and transacts of the transactions in place. So what happens is the very first data of the transactions are all put into a block. What happened with Bitcoin, it was the very first cryptocurrency to be created by Satoshi Nakamoto. The 10-minute block, the data is put into the block. Then it's a race to see how many transactions can be verified within the next block. Whoever has the longest list of transactions created within that 10-minute block wins, and they get rewarded coins. Okay, so that is how the Bitcoin blockchain was formed. But every single computer in the network takes a record of every single transaction. So you cannot lie, cheat, or manipulate the blockchain in any way, shape, or form. It's one true source of information. And when you can put that now into money, we now have a more secure way of transacting money than any bank. You can now become your bank. This is now my bank. Anywhere in the world now where there is a phone, there is a bank, not a bank account, a bank. We can now start conducting, we'll do a transaction later on, we'll show how that works as well. So you can actually see a transaction in place. So when you get that, it's a light bulb moment. This is going to change the way we use and transact money forever. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to give you a little bit of a brief insight into the vision of cryptocurrency, the vision of how this is going to impact so many lives. I mean, we're talking about billions of lives going to be changed around the world because of this concept. And experts are saying that this is bigger than the internet. This is a multi-trillion disruption. It's going to change money, finance, business, every single industry going. So you're at the forefront of something so unique, so magical, and probably the biggest movement of our lifetime. If you think the internet was big, I don't think you've seen anything yet. This is it. The right time, the right place, the right opportunity is now in front of you, and we want to help you get educated on that. So let me show you a quick video to give you a little bit of an insight of what this is all about and the vision of this as well. Was it that one? No, this is the one I wanted to play.
Teaming to Win is on a mission to inform and educate people, and this opportunity gives people hope that they are going to get financial freedom with one, which is very different to the 9 to 5 job.
There are opportunities, and it's just expanding as I see it. And I mean, we have Dr. Usha to thank for it, and it is actually just you saying yes to the opportunity.
I notice a lot of these companies, they hype a lot. They say you're going to be millionaires next day, you can drive Ferraris, you can have your own yacht, and it's not leading in the right way. And I don't really want to do this to these people. When I met Max and Louis the first time, I was surprised that all what they were doing is just explaining the business. No one was asking me to buy something, or they were so confident in explaining the business that they knew that people would automatically make their own mind. And I would say 9 out of 10 people would say yes.
Whatever you focus on, whatever it is in life, is going to grow. And that's why I think it's important to be around people who can actually help you lift your thoughts and dare to dream.
It's so much in this concept that gives inspiration. The bonus plan, what we can earn from this, and also when we earn, it's nice to help other people.
It's all about helping each other. It's all about contribution to many people around the world who have not any access to banking service. So this is like a dream to me. If I could be part of this dream to make it coming true, I think, my mission is done.
There you go. Fantastic little video that shows a couple of our huge leaders in our business, how they're building their team, and just getting a real insight of what this can do for people and how it's going to impact lives. There's a part in the video there it touched on about the 2 billion adults in the world who are unbanked. If we can help just a fraction of that, you get 10 million people to start conducting cryptocurrency transactions via their mobile phone. What's that going to do for their lives? It's going to impact and change many, many lives around the world. And we can now start conducting business with the Kenyan farmer, all through his Nokia phone. Okay, so it's very, very important that we understand that. So let me just come on to our next video. Is this the one? Okay. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the blockchain. This is going to give you a little bit of an insight of how it works, how it's secure, how it's safe. And we want you to understand the power of this because it's phenomenal. I've never seen anything as powerful as this blockchain. And this is just a little insight for you as well. No doubt we'll delve into it a bit more.
The OneCoin blockchain maintains a continuously growing list of transaction records hardened against tampering and revision. Guaranteed safety. At OneCoin, we are able to execute your transactions in a minute thanks to the powerful blockchain, a technological innovation that stores cryptocurrencies. The OneCoin blockchain is based on protocols that authenticate, validate, and store information in consistent, unbroken sequences. This guarantees that the system is safer by reducing fraud, duplicity, and forgery. KYC policies. The OneCoin blockchain consists of every transaction ever performed in OneCoin. Anonymous transactions are not allowed, and the company strictly follows anti-money laundering policy, carrying out Know Your Customer policies on different aspects of its activities. Transparent. OneCoin is the first cryptocurrency to store KYC documents on its blockchain. Fast. 1 minute per block. This is how long it takes OneCoin to make a transaction. Future-proof. Tailored for future-proof mass transactions. The OneCoin blockchain can perform more transactions than any global credit card provider. The OneCoin blockchain is the first blockchain audited every month. So far, each blockchain audit report clearly shows that the blockchain of OneCoin is consistent, meaning that there are no coins mined outside the blockchain, and that there are no alterations to it. OneCoin transfers your money in a minute. OneCoin. Join the financial revolution.
Stop that video. 1 second. Okay, so
You need a website. What?
So let me come back to our screen now, guys. So as you can see, we've got a very, very powerful 1 minute blockchain. If we look at Bitcoin's blockchain can do so many transactions per year as what Visa, MasterCard can do in a day. They're having backlogs of, there's records of 17 hours for transactions to go through on a Bitcoin blockchain. I mean, it's just not viable for a merchant coming on board to start accepting this coin. And it's 17 hours for a transaction to go through is not good, especially when it's supposed to be instant transactions. They've not designed it specifically to be a reserve currency of the whole world, which is OneCoin. I've looked at the flaws of Bitcoin and now come out with a much better, safer, secure way. I've never seen a business model this transparent. This is absolutely huge in the marketplace. The fastest company ever to hit $1 billion in revenue. Microsoft took 9 years, Apple took 7, Groupon took 2 years and 8 months. We did this in 10 months of being in business. 2 months later, we go and do it again. No company in the world has ever achieved what we've done. We've created over 700 millionaires through bonuses, 5,000 millionaires through coin value. We've got 100,000 people earning between 200 and 1,000 euros per week. That's life changing for some people. We don't have to worry about the millions. The 200 to 1,000 a week, it is life changing for some people. That's paying bills. That's taking their kids on their first holidays. This is transforming and impacting lives all over the world. We operate in 194 countries. Like I said, no company has ever achieved what we've done before. We're now lining up for an IPO, which is an initial public offering in 2018. It could be one of the biggest IPOs of all time. We don't know. Obviously, it's down to the market, down to the people who come in, and it's down to the trade on the day. But the growth of this, you've got nearly 150,000 people joining every single month. Some companies don't have that in a lifetime. We're having that a month. I mean, the company revenue is just through the roof. And Dr. Ruja at the helm as well. This is why I joined this business. Dr. Ruja, she's got a PhD in law, a master's degree in economics. She's written 2 books. She was a front cover of Forbes magazine, Brand Voice. So it was an advertising platform for Forbes, which was, you have to be meticulously vetted to get onto that program. Fortune 500 companies use brand voice to get their brand out there. So this is what Dr. Ruja did, and she done that in the highest caliber as well. She's been part of the Financial IT magazine, where 2,000 banks subscribe to that magazine every single month. Front cover twice, double page spread. This woman has been meticulously vetted at the highest level now. Like you see in the video, the company has been audited every single month for 2 years. When I joined this company, it was 50 cents per coin. It's now €7.85. If we look at the success of Bitcoin, it started off 10 cents per coin. It rose to over $1,200 a coin in 4 years. I mean, it goes down to one of the biggest return investments of our lifetime so far. One life is 10 times bigger than Bitcoin already, and we're only 2 years old. At 2 years of age, Bitcoin had no usability, had no liquidity whatsoever. We have just launched our very own Deal Shaker, which is our very own merchant platform, where you can start spending your coins on there. We are so far advanced with Bitcoin and any other cryptocurrency in the marketplace. It's phenomenal. And I mean, it is just growing and growing and growing. This is just the start. If this is the first time you're looking at this now, I hope you're getting my passion. I hope you're getting my love for this company, because it's changed my life. I managed to travel to over 23 countries last year alone. We're about to head off to South Africa next week, and we go to Nigeria. We're off on an African tour later on in April. We're going all over the world with this again this year. So I want to hit more than 23 countries this year. We are absolutely booming, and the team is flying. So what do we want to do? This is one of the most important inventions of our lifetime. Okay? We need to share this, but we need to share it in the correct way. And if we don't do that, we're not doing justice to this company or its product. The main product of this is education as well. This is why we're doing why we're doing these webinars. We have one academy where you get educated on cryptocurrency and finance. So it's down to you. Only you can do this. Okay, you've got to make a decision, and the decision's got to come from your heart. Do you want to be involved with one of the fastest growing businesses in the world, or do you not? Do you want to wait 3 or 4 years and then look back and go, I could have been part of that? Are you going to have a war story, or are you going to be a warrior? Are you going to get involved with us? Trust me, this is a brand new industry. It's never been done before. Is there bumps along the road? Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, just mute yourself out. So you've got to decide, are you going to be strong enough? Have you got thick enough skin to come into this? Because there's a lot of negativity out there. But when you actually look at the truth of this company and the facts, the figures, and you don't listen to all the negative crap that's out there, because what they're doing is bashing a product to promote a product. We're in the top 3,000 websites of the whole world. The traffic we get is in the millions of people per month. So what they do, they take the best topic, one of the highest earning companies in the world, and they take it and they bash it so they can put their little adverts on there, and they can start selling their Bitcoin and Ethereum adverts and all these other work from home opportunities. Okay, so do your due diligence. Okay, we've had people had $1 billion company join this company. They merged their company with us. They went through the highest level of due diligence possible. And you can check that video out, Frank Ricketts. I've got on our team website, the CryptoPros.com. Okay, so there's all videos on their due diligence that's been done at the highest level. There's legal opinions from 5 different countries: Norway, Sweden, Bulgaria, Italy, and most importantly, Germany. If you get a legal opinion from Germany, that covers all 24 European countries. Okay, so we have a legal opinion from 5, and we've just apparently got UK as well. This is the most compliant, legal company I've ever worked with. If anyone says to you this is something different, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, whatever, by legal definition, we just can't be. This is the biggest opportunity you're ever going to get in your lifetime. We're looking for people who want to be warriors. We're looking for people who want to take this seriously and get involved and be part of our team, be part of the community, be part of our family. Come and bring your people onto these webinars so you can learn too. And only you can do this. It's got to be your decision. What is your why? Why do you want to do it? What's your goal? Okay, you've got to know all this. What's your vision? What do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want to be doing? Are you unhappy? Are you working a 9 to 5 and are you unhappy? Are you working long hours? Are you commuting? I used to be working on a building site. I was a scaffolder. It was horrible. I was covered in dust, up in the air, wind on me, freezing cold every single day. And then one day someone dropped a scaffold fitting on my head from 70 foot. I was 1 millimeter from death. That day changed my life because I was homebound for 18 months. I had no way of earning money. And I had to find a way. I lost my house, I lost my flat, lost my girlfriend, okay? It was the lowest of the low. But because of who I am and the spirit I am, and because I was saved, I knew I could go and do good things. And I was saved, I know, for this to bring this opportunity to the world, to help the billions of unbanked people, to help the remittance payments, and just basically be part of something that's going to change the whole world, the way we do transact money forever. This is just the beginning, guys. Are you a warrior? Are you a wussy? What do you want to be? Okay, we're looking for serious people. But the only way we want you to do is, well, we want you to be educated on how to share this properly. So this is now where we come into bringing our absolute master, Catherine Clement, who gets in front of thousands of people a week doing WhatsApp presentations. She's educating the third world third world poverty people how to get educated on this, how to earn money. So there is no one better to come on board and now teach you how to share this opportunity with people. Hope you get excited, guys, because this is going to be phenomenal. Let's have a little quick chat with our lovely superstar, Catherine. So I'll mute you and put you on spotlight. How are you, my darling? You okay?
I'm good today. How are you?
I'm outstanding. I'm outstanding and I'm getting better every single day.
Well, I don't know how you couldn't in this company. It's crazy.
So tell us a little bit about your background. You've got an amazing story. I mean, guys, when you hear this story, this is so inspirational. And if Catherine has achieved the success you have after hearing this, you've got no excuse whatsoever. So Catherine, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with cryptocurrency.
Thank you so much, Joby. It's such an honor to be here and really just want to, just so grateful for everything that you do with these Zooms, your trainings. I know people are learning so much here all the time, and I'm thrilled to be part of that. So these Zooms make all of this feedback, though. If we could get somebody to just meet, that would be great. Awesome. Thank you. My name is Catherine Clement. For those of you that don't know me, I live in Boulder, Colorado, which is a beautiful place to live. I'm completely surrounded by amazing views and just beautiful people here, and it's just a great place to live. And that's one of the things that I love about this company is you can choose where you want to live. I'm a bit of a gypsy myself, so the wind has been calling to me. I've been looking at the gypsy wagon and going, might need to put some new tires on the gypsy wagon. I don't think I'll be hitting the road in the next few days anyway. It's been an amazing journey. I'm sorry, I'm a bit distracted here in the background. It's been an amazing journey to have found this company. I basically was told by a friend through a Facebook message. And for those of you that don't know, don't think Facebook works, it works. Many people are building entire large, huge organizations just through Facebook. Now, there are some other options out there for building, and that's part of what I want to talk to you about today. And I touched on this training before, so I'm gonna go through some basics of it, and then I'm gonna try to apply it to how you're marketing and how you're doing three-way calls and things. So, but to tell you a little bit about myself, I was a registered nurse for 20 years, and I took care of premature babies in intensive care. I wasn't, I didn't start out all that good. I was a troubled teen and young mom, young single mom, high school dropout, you know, that whole scene. And when I realized that I just wasn't able to provide for my kids like I wanted to, that's when I decided to get my, you know, get my GED, go back to school, that kind of stuff. And I wound up being a nurse sort of as a fluke. It wasn't like I grew up wanting to be one. But when I went to the college and took the entrance tests, which I thought I would fail, they told me, well, you can, you know, I thought they would say, well, you can do this or this. And I thought they could evaluate my personality like I'm going to try to teach you guys how to do today. And maybe they did, who knows? But I thought they would tell me what to do. And basically they said, you can do what you want. And I said, well, what has the, you know, I need a job. I don't need a diploma. I don't need a piece of paper. I need to feed my kids. So what can I go into where I will know that I'll forever have a job? And they said nursing or engineering. And I said, well, which one has less math? Which completely cracks me up now, because look, I deal with math every day. My calculator is my best friend, right? So, but so it's funny how God shoots us around to different things. But nursing was amazing. I loved working with the babies. I worked 12-hour night shifts, and I also took care of kids once they went home. They were on ventilators and stuff, and so I did a lot of that. I missed a lot of time away from my kids. And one of the things I love about this business is that people can spend more time with their kids and their families when they're growing up. Obviously, we need nurses in the world, so I'm not telling everybody not to be a nurse, but there are sacrifices that come with certain positions. And if you can support your family and spend time with them at the same time, I think that's win-win. And one of the ways that we can talk to people about this thing, how do you talk to people? You know, what do you say to people? How do you get people excited about this? You hear the excitement in Joby's voice and my voice, because we've been around a while. I've been around since July of 15, I think. And so regardless of all the stuff that comes out on the internet, you know, Joby and I have been here. We've seen it from the inside. We know that the paychecks roll out every time. The numbers are right every time. The promises are under-promised and over-delivered every time. So you get to the point where there's just, that's just a waste of time. That's just a waste of time. Just don't even bother with all that. Don't pollute your mind with it. We have to be really careful what we allow in our minds. We have to learn how to control our thoughts. And I might touch on something. I don't know if I've touched on it here, Joby, but I know I have on a couple of other calls. But I'll save that until after this colors. We're going to have a colors chat here. I'm actually going to put something up on the screen so you guys can see it. If I can share screen, let me see if it'll let me. All right. So we're going to talk about colors. And I wish I had known these. I know I just kind of stopped on my story, you guys, but we got to get to the thing here. Long story short, I fell off a horse and I couldn't be a nurse anymore, and I had to find a way to work from home, just like Joby. You know, you're home in bed, you can't do anything for yourself. And I tried a lot of stuff that didn't work, and this works, and that's why we're here. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. So let's talk about color personalities, because this is something that's more important to you than my story. I learned about these probably, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago now. I can't remember exactly. But this is just a way of sort of learning about people there's certain characteristics that people seem to have. There seem to be, and I've seen lots of personality type teachings like this. Sometimes they use the elements, sometimes they use colors, sometimes they use a bunch of letters. I remember having to do one with letters in college and stuff. So there's a lot of different ways, but they all seem to put people into 4 categories. And in this case, we're going to talk about what I learned, which was colors. And as you can see here, most of the population is yellow and greens. That's most of the population right there, 70%. And then you've got about 15% blues and about 15% reds. Now you might think, why do I need to know this? I wish I had known this when I was a nurse, because it would have been so helpful to me. It's when you need to communicate to people, it's very, very important to know not just what to say, but to know what not to say. If you say the wrong thing to somebody, they just automatically turn you off. And if any of you have ever had kids, you know about the ability to, they can just turn you off. If you say like clean your room, they just like turn you off. This is how it works, you know, when you're talking to people about your business as well. You can say the wrong thing and turn people off. And I am sad to say that even though I even teach colors, I still, because of my personality color, have a tendency to, I can turn people off because I can be very, very abrupt. I can be extremely direct, and it knocks people back on their heels, especially the yellows and the greens. So let's talk about this. Yellows, I'm going to give you some Winnie the Poohs to remember these by too. Yellows are about 35% of the population, and they're all about wanting to be friends. They're team-oriented people, and these are your biggest network marketing builders. Of all the colors, yellows build the biggest teams overall. Reds are competitive as far as numbers, but reds don't maintain their team and retain their team like yellows do. Yellows build a team, and they have those team members forever. You know, they'll follow them from opportunity to opportunity if need be. But these are your teachers, your nurses, your counselors, your therapists, your preachers, your think Winnie the Pooh. You know, if we're thinking about a character that could help you remember this, just think Winnie the Pooh. These are very dependable people. They're all about the team. They're very patient, very supportive, very nurturing. Now, you would think, because I was a nurse for 20 years, excuse me, that I would be a yellow. And most nurses are yellows. But I was kind of thrown, there's quite a bit of background. If everybody could check their mic, it would be great. I kind of got thrown into that out of necessity to feed my kids. It wasn't necessarily, that wasn't necessarily my first choice. I just had to have a job that I knew would feed my kids. So they are amazing people to have on your team. You want a bunch of yellows, because when you're doing educational programs and things, you know, they're really good for that, because they don't mind all the questions if people have a lot of questions and stuff. So a weakness for yellow, all of these colors have strengths and weaknesses. So a weakness for yellow is going to be that they're oversensitive, and they are a follower more than a leader, and they're not very goal oriented. But the oversensitivity is the major weakness here. And the reason, if you're a yellow, you need to recognize this, and the reason if you're not a yellow, you need to recognize this, is because just like as a blue, if a blue or a red who can be very direct and abrupt are that way with a yellow, without meaning to, we can like really hurt their feelings, shut them down. You know, they'll be in tears. They're very emotional. I hate to say it, but ladies, these yellow ladies, they can be completely stopped in their tracks over one little harsh word, or especially no from the wrong person. If they're trying to recruit somebody that they really care about, and they want them to be in, and the person comes back with, oh, it's a scam and this and that, that can like completely shut a yellow down. And you need to recognize that if it's you, so that you can recognize that's just what it is, and you need to get back up on the horse. And you need to recognize that if it's your team member, because they could disappear, and I mean, they could just leave the team overnight from a harsh word. And this actually happened not long ago on our Team USA. And it's a sad thing. Please just look down and check your mics for me. That would be awesome. And greens are another 35% of the population. And they are all about information. These are going to be your accountants, your engineers, your researchers. Very soft spoken, gentle, very we're going to talk about ways that you can recognize these people, but I was going to kind of go through each one first. But you can recognize a green because their speech is very articulate. They enunciate their words very clearly. They're very precise about the way they pronounce things. And they'll correct you if you pronounce it wrong, not to be mean or anything, but they just think that everybody would want to know that that's the correct way to do it, is all. They're quite formal and conservative, and you might see like a pen, what do they call that, pocket protector or something, you know, where they have their pens and all this stuff. And their strengths, they're amazing planners. They're very organized, and like I said, they're very accurate. They do well with follow through typically. Their weakness is that they're somebody's drawing on the board. Their weakness is that they're over analytical. They have this drive for information, and they just need to know more and more and more because they want to understand it. I mean, in their brain, they just have to get it clear so that before they'll talk to anybody. And that's one of the things that's sort of one of the weaknesses for them, is that they plan and they plan and they plan, and they have this huge plan, and then to actually get them to take the first step and implement the plan is sometimes very difficult. Or if they take the first step, and as we all know, once you take the first step, a plan. But for a green, that like stops them, because then they have to go back and reformulate the plan. And so they kind of get in this loop of, they call it analysis paralysis. Now, some of the ways that you can really make a green happy is by giving them all the information. And since we're an educational company, we attract a lot of greens in this company. I've noticed that. A lot of greens are drawn here because we're about education. That would make sense, right? So if you can give them charts and graphs, I mean, they're just going to light up and be excited like it's Christmas morning. They just love all that stuff. Or you give them a website, has a whole bunch of information. They're going to love that. Things that can turn them off. I kind of wanted to do these together because they're very similar. For yellow and green, the things that turn them off are pushy people, which is going to fall along the red personality and the blue personality. Not having enough facts for the green, that's going to be a turnoff for them. They're very punctual people that don't like you to be late. So they're sort of, you might have heard it said, if you're on time, you're actually late for this person. That's kind of how this one goes. And on the yellow, they really, and greens also dislike any kind of conflict or any kind of bullying situation, even a raised voice, even if it's not necessarily out of anger, but just a raised voice can sometimes put both a green and a yellow back. Very direct, blunt statements. They both sort of have expectations about how they think people should respond to certain situations. I guess everybody does to a certain extent, but I think yellows and greens get really hung up over the expectations of how they think you should respond to a question that they've asked, or to a certain situation. And if you don't respond that way, it can really throw them. So it's important to know at least what not to say to these people. For a yellow, you're not going to go to a yellow and start talking about the amazing comp plan. They really are not money driven. Unless you can tie it to helping people and you can motivate them with money. Go ahead and check your mics, please. You might have to mute everybody, and then I can come unmute it again or something if we can't get people to mute. Thank you, dear. I think I am unmuted still. All right. So yellows, don't talk about money to a yellow unless you can tie it to you're going to put wells in a community, or you're going to help some kids get school or whatnot. Helping they're okay with, but because they also fall into this group of people who are teachers and nurses and preachers, all of those people can sort of have issues with money as well. And as far as, they're very giving of their time and don't necessarily, aren't always paid for what they're worth. I mean, we are the highest paid education, teachers in the world, but typically before one life. So be gentle with your yellows and your greens. You're going to talk to a yellow about all the amazing things we're doing in the world. One World Foundation is going to turn a yellow on. Your greens, you're going to turn them on with all of our education, our One Academy. I mean, they're going to love One Academy, and they're going to love websites with lots of information. Blues, I'm a blue who thought I was a yellow, and I used to beat myself up all the time because I didn't respond the way I thought I was supposed to. Once I found out I was a blue, that may have not made any sense right there, but that's another issue with blues. We're a little bit I won't say ADD, but our brains work really, really, really fast, and our mouths keep up with it, as you can see. A yellow talks much slower than what I'm talking. A green talks much slower. Blues can talk. And we are all about fun. So if you're going to have to talk to me about how this is going to make my life more fun, or the fun that we're having working as a team, that's what actually turned me on, because I do have yellow. Everybody has some of all of it, but you basically have sort of a primary and a secondary. So I'm primary blue, secondary yellow. You're going to find the salespeople, the musicians, the artists in this category. And as I said, we talk loud and fast. I don't necessarily talk loud, but I definitely talk fast. Stylish, flamboyant, colorful. I don't know about that.
And Catherine's just frozen, guys. Be back in a second. Please keep your mics muted as well, guys. It's really important. Have some respect for the host, and she's doing an amazing training. So please don't unmute yourselves.
So our strengths are that we are great promoters. We're very convincing people. We speak with authority. So just, we're enthusiastic. Very high energy, but our weaknesses are that we can talk too much, we don't save well, and I can tell you that's true, because even though I worked for 20 years as a nurse, when I fell off that horse 11 years ago, I lost my house and everything in 3 years, and it just happened to be the year 2008, but it really wasn't necessarily the crash that did it to me, other than it was my crash. But we're poor savers. And go ahead and check your mics and mute out. It'd be great. I hear some children.
Guys, seriously, if you unmute yourself one more time, I'm going to remove you. have some respect for Catherine, okay? It's really bad. I'm removing you, and you removed you once. I'm going to remove you again. It's terrible, really bad, guys. Catherine, I'm so sorry. Please carry on.
It's okay, dear. It's not your fault. They probably don't even realize they're doing it. So we're very unorganized. And I can definitely attest to that, but there is like some organization within the disorganization. I have to say that because like I cleaned up my workspace the other day and I couldn't find anything for 3 days until it all got messed up again. And now I know exactly where everything is. So I think we just have our own ways. Keywords, again, fun and excitement. If you start talking taxes to me, you talk about shut down, I will be off in la la land dreaming of something else. And yeah, we don't want all the information that the green wants. And this is why it's important to know who you're talking to when you're trying to bring somebody in, you're trying to prospect somebody. You have to know this, because if a green is prospecting, and we teach everybody to not be the expert, even Joby, even Joby, when he's introducing somebody, he's going to take them to a 3-way call with somebody else and let somebody else be the expert. Greens are going to have an issue with that, with doing 3-way calls, because they believe they are the expert because they've studied it so much, you guys. It's just, I mean, they are the expert probably because they have studied it so much, but that doesn't matter. You can't be the expert for your own people. So if a green starts talking to a blue and starts like upchucking information on them, basically, it's going to make a blue go away. A blue's just going to check out of that because they don't want all that information. That is not fun. So just keep these. This is why I keep this chart. If you don't know how to do a screenshot, I will make sure that you can get this chart, contact me on Facebook or something. But if you don't know how to do a screenshot, there's a free program called Jing, J-I-N-G, and you can download that and you can take screenshots of everything, and it's awesome. So if you don't have a program like that, it's J-I-N-G, I think it's .com, probably jing.com, free download. But I'll make sure you get this anyway. Reds, you're going to know if you're talking to a red, most people, because a red can kind of make the hair on the back of your neck stand up sometimes, just their energy. These are the really fiery people. Oh, I forgot to tell you the Winnie the Pooh characters. Yellow was Winnie the Pooh, green is Eeyore, blue is Tigger, and red is Rabbit. So Rabbit's motto is get out of my way. They are very business oriented. These are the CEOs, attorneys, pilots, military colonels. These are the, they really speak with authority, and they speak very forcefully and with volume. These are the suits. These people dress for success, and they're very focused and goal oriented. They're amazing recruiters. Like, they can bring in tons and tons of people through their marketing efforts, but they might lose them because they won't necessarily build relationships with them. Some reds will, but they've learned how to do that through experience of losing their teams. So it's important to have reds on your team, but then, like, you might want to take the people that they bring in and shoot them over to the yellow and the green and the blue, mostly the yellow, so that they get a lot of tender loving care. Very goal oriented. Their weaknesses are that their ego, they're just think they're all that, and they can be short tempered. Blues can be a little bit short tempered. We can be a little bit impatient as well. If you notice, you may not have noticed, at the top and the bottom you see open and self-contained, and at the left and right side you see indirect and direct. So the yellows and greens have, some ways of communicating in an indirect way. so there are some similarities there, as there are with the blues and the reds. We have, you know, we can talk in 3-word sentences sometimes. It's just like bam, bam, bam. We don't want to do a whole flowery anything for anybody. We just want to get to the point, especially when you're in a successful business and you have more people to contact than you can in a day. So to get a red, you're going to talk about money. And you're going to get to the point. You're going to get to the bottom line. They don't want to hear the whole everything. They just want the bottom line. And their dislikes are indecision and chit chat. They're not going to be in the chat groups, and they want to be in control all the time. So Trump is a perfect, I know rabbit, I said for Winnie the Pooh, but actually Trump is like the perfect red personality that everyone can associate with. I guess Hillary would be a yellow. I don't know. I don't do politic colors, but for your marketing, the reason this is, I see we're getting to the top of the hour too. I'm sorry. Takes, this could be like an hours and hours and hours long training actually. So, just trying to kind of cram it in. That's another reason I'm talking fast, but, the reason it's important for your marketing, like if you're going to put a post on Facebook, first of all, you want to kind of decide who are you marketing to, what's your audience. And once you've decided that, you can, like if you want to focus on nurses, you might want to talk about, you know, how the team works together and how we're helping people in One World Foundation, this, that, and the other. You want to bring in a bunch of yellows. If you want to bring in all 4 colors, I have done posts where I just made sure that I addressed things that each one would like, so that I was addressing all 4 colors in my marketing. Another place that this is really, really, I cannot stress enough how important this is. First of all, it's hard enough to get people to do 3-way calls, and they work. If they don't work, it's usually because of something that has been said or happened before that call occurred. And what I mean by that is sometimes we say too much to people before we get them on the 3-way call. And they already go into the 3-way call with, you know, like an attitude or something. But it's important when you're doing your 3-way calls to think about these colors. Just come back and grab your chart and think about your prospect and think, okay, you know, now did they volunteer a lot of information? Were they super chatty? That's going to make them a blue probably, because yellows and yellows can be chatty once they get to know you. But you're going to find out, okay, what color's your prospect? And then you can figure out what color leader you want to do that 3-way call with. Because if you have, say, a red personality prospect and you put them on a 3-way call with a yellow personality, or maybe even a green personality, and that red will immediately take control of the conversation. That's another way you know you're dealing with a red, because they just talk over you, pretty much cut you off and take over the conversation. Even if it's to say, okay, just get to the point. You know, that's like one of their favorite lines. So if you have a red prospect and you put them on the call with a yellow, and the yellow starts talking about, oh, and we're doing all this amazing stuff and the One World Foundation, and then the green starts talking about, oh, and we have all this education and all this stuff, and the red is going to eat them up. The red is just going to eat them up. And because the yellow and the green are both sensitive souls, very, very sensitive souls, it's going to hurt them for a while. It can actually shut them down forever. And so this is why it's important to know, you know, at least who not to put people with. If you've got a red prospect, you need to find a red leader to do the 3-way, or a blue. I can hold my own with a red, because I can be as direct and blunt, and however, you know, I can handle that. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not, you know, sensitive to where it's going to shut me down if I do have to go toe to toe with them a little bit. And oftentimes they're just looking for someone that can stand to them a little bit. So not that you're going to get in a argument or disagreement or anything on the phone, but they will appreciate the directness that a blue can bring. And so if you can't get a red, you could use a blue, but don't use a yellow or a green leader unless they are well versed. If they've been in it for a while, then they know how to handle reds if they've been in it for a while. But I don't know. I don't know, because I've seen some yellows that have been in it and have a lot of experience, and still I've seen them get crushed by a red. So just be careful. And you might want to think about these when you think about, if you are married, or girlfriend, boyfriend, children, people in your family. When you think about those people and you kind of figure out what color they are, it'll make more sense to you. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's why they did that, or that's why I said that, and their face like changed. Have you ever had that happen? You're talking to somebody and you think everything's going good, and you say something and all of a sudden their face is just like, shh, like you said the wrong thing. So learning these colors is amazing. And if I might continue just a moment more, this won't take long. I want to.
Carry on, Catherine.
Okay, thank you, dear.
It's good. It's good.
All right. Maybe I'll stop screen sharing now. I think everybody has had that opportunity. So I want to bring this up because it's something that can help those yellows and greens especially. Because if something happens that shuts them down, as their sponsor, you kind of need to go help them out. You need to help them out of that situation. And so a tool that I have in my toolbox is actually something that I learned a long time ago. It's a classic, so you probably have heard of her, but her name is Byron Katie. And what she teaches is called The Work. And so if you go to thework.com, but basically, this is 4 questions that you ask yourself about any situation that is bothering you. So let's say that a yellow got on the phone with a red and got eaten up, and then they were just crying and emotional and upset over it, and they didn't want to talk to anybody again. They could pose these questions to help get themselves out of that. I learned about these because I had some situations happen that taught me that your mind, your thoughts can literally drive you crazy. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but but it's true. Like if you let certain thoughts continue to go on in your mind, it will drive you crazy. It can, and just really short, my teenage daughter, when she was 16, she's like 35 now, but when she was 16, she disappeared. She was gone for a long time. I was told to get her dental records and all of that. They thought she'd been murdered. And my mind, I was a street rat, you guys. I was out on my own at 12, okay? My mind went to so many places. I tortured myself 24/7 to the point of almost having to be admitted somewhere. And it was all made up things in my mind. That's the key point I'm trying to get here, okay? So our minds are so powerful. Our thoughts can just completely, they can just stop us. That's why people get depressed and stuff, and deal with anxiety because of these thoughts if they don't learn how to control. So these 4 questions they're so simple, you're going to say, you got to be kidding me. But they work. The first question is it true? Is it true? Like, that's such a stupid question, but is it true? So in other words, if a yellow is sitting there and they're upset because they think that the red thinks that they're stupid, is it true? Well, in that case, it could be true. That wasn't a good example. But, most of these things that let's say that, I'm going to use a different example. Let's say that a yellow prospected their best friend of years. And the prospect said, no, this is a scam. I've seen it on the internet. It's a scam. And then for the next hour, and this actually happened, that's why I'm using this. For the next hour, they bombarded this good friend who was so concerned for their other friend's safety, bombarded that person with text after text after text of all these scam blogs and all this crap, you know. And it so upset this yellow personality. Like, they were devastated. They were just devastated. Number one, because they had these thoughts, such as, my friend thinks that I would scam them. My friend doesn't believe in me. My friend thinks that I don't have enough sense to evaluate whether something is legitimate or not. My friend, and you see the pattern here? My friend thinks this, my friend thinks that. Is it true? You don't know. You don't know if they're thinking that. That's what you're thinking. Come back to reality. You don't know what they're thinking, okay? If you're determined and you say, yes, it's true, it's true. Let's go to the second question. Are you absolutely 100% positively, unequivocally positive that it's true? Or is your mind just making shit up? Because it will do that, you guys. It'll do it based on things that have happened to you since you were 2 years old. Something that happened to you when you were 3 or 4 years old. A lot of people are still carrying that stuff around. And then, of course, we have all these other insults as we go through life, and we carry those around, and that's how we react to things. So let's say that somehow you got past 1 and 2. It's absolutely true. You say it's true. It's true. They think I'm stupid. It's true. Well, we know that's not. But the third question is, how do you feel when you think and believe that thought? How does it make you feel? How does it allow you to function? Does it keep you in the fetal position over in the corner crying? You know, when you think that? And then the fourth is, how do you feel when you don't think that thought? How do you feel if you just think, well, wow, maybe they don't think I'm stupid, you know, or wow, maybe they just really do care about me and they are uneducated and they don't understand this, like 94% of the rest of the population of the world. We're trying to teach something that most people don't understand. They can have that kind of a reaction. Don't torture yourself. If you are having emotions, and another thing I have to say here is that we have to learn how to separate emotion from business. This is a business, you guys. It's a business. You have to separate emotion from it. You know, you can't let something that happened when you were 5 control how you run your business now. And so if you're running into these emotional situations, and then you can use those questions for anything. Teach them to your kids. I teach them to my grandkids. As a matter of fact, Byron Katie has a children's book that says, Tiger, Tiger, is it true? And can you imagine what a different life all of our children and grandchildren would lead if they had those skills from day one, to not let their mind, not allow them, here's the train, to torture themselves with their own thoughts and minds, to really understand that we don't have to believe our thoughts. Thoughts just appear, you know, but we have to learn how. Sometimes you get that where it's just repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. And go to Byron Katie's page, thework.com. There are those 4 questions, but if those 4 questions don't completely clear it up for you, she has this worksheet that you can fill out. And by the time you get through that worksheet, I guarantee you that loop-de-loop is going to stop. So teach these things to your team, especially your yellows and your greens, but everybody needs to know it. And use it for, your daily life. Don't let your mind drive you crazy, you guys. Because you're like you said, Joby, we have to develop a thick skin. We have to, because things are going to come at us, and we have to learn how to roll with that. I got kind of sharp with somebody on my chat yesterday. We have a group team chat thing going, and somebody put up a scam blog in my chat, and I mean, I was like, wham, no. I mean, I was forceful about it, probably too forceful, but I don't want my people's minds polluted with that. Your mind is your most precious commodity, you guys. Seriously, it really is. So let me look at the chat, because I see there's like 20 things. There may be questions. Nope, it's mostly about muting. Thank you guys so much. And
all good. Thank you very much, Catherine. Absolutely honored to have you on. What an amazing training session, guys. Hope you got value from that. And as Catherine was saying, your mind is absolutely everything. Without this, you can't do anything in this business or in life. So take your brains out, throw them, get rid of them, and do whatever you can to develop that thick skin, because you're going to need it in this business. But that's what makes it so special, because it is hard work. Have you got to get out of your comfort zone? Yes. Have you got to do things you never thought you would do? Absolutely. But that's where you grow. That's where you become a better human being. That's where you become better educated. That's where you become a better professional at what you're doing. That's where you earn more money. You've got to get out of your comfort. This is your comfort zone. This is success. Okay, you've got to make that leap. You've got to jump. And it's all about, if you don't jump, you're just going to stay where you are. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So please take this very seriously. Understand who you're talking to, why you're talking to them with certain language. It's imperative to your business, because it will change the way you look at people. Start studying people. Are you a yellow? Are you a green? What are you? Are you a red? If they start talking about money, or they're talking about being all excited, being around people, are they talking about helping people? Do they want information? Whatever it may be, just ask questions. The more open-ended questions you can ask and get information out of them. So in a way, you're acting a bit like a green, because you've got to go get the information out of them. Take that information, develop it, and ask the right questions, because it's gonna change the way you do your business. It's gonna change the way you look at life. And I hope you can really take that on from this training as well. So anything you want to close on, Catherine?
well, I'll give you one easy question you can ask. Like I said, sometimes you could just tell by their speech patterns. Sometimes you can tell by the way they're dressed, by their occupation or whatnot. But there's one question you can ask pretty much anybody, and that is, what would you do if you won the lotto? And depending on how they answer that, like a blue is going to talk about having fun, right? And a red's going to talk about probably investing it in something. And a green is going to talk about, a yellow is going to talk about, buying a bunch of presents for everybody, or, taking their family on a trip, something, family, team oriented. And sadly, the green is going to probably say something, and then they're going to finish it with, but I would never win the lotto. So, because they have that kind of that Eeyore closure on there, that half glass, half empty spin on it. So if you can ask that question or something similar, think of your own question if you don't like that question, but you see what I mean, how depending on people answer it, it'll kind of give you that clue as to what color they are, and then you'll know sort of where to go from there. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I love talking about colors. I could talk about it forever. It's been so helpful to me, and I know it will be to you as well. And there's books on it. Joby, you have one, don't you?
Yeah, wait there, 2 seconds. Big Owl. Okay, this is a book every single person should get. It's phenomenal. Big Owl, the color mastering the colors. Okay, it's an absolutely phenomenal book. Highly recommend you get this. Get it on Amazon for about £3, £4. It's really cheap. You can read that in about an hour. It's really quick, really easy. All right. So guys, take this very, very seriously. We want you to become successful because the best trained team wins. Bar none. That is it. That's all you have to do. Get your teams trained and you will start earning money. All right. So we absolutely love you guys. We appreciate your time. We do apologize for just going over the normal hour, but very important information. We hope you got some value from this. Please take it, implement it. Tell us your results as well. Give us some feedback, because if there's anything we can improve on in the trainings, let us know. We'll be happy to do that as well. But we want to help you succeed. So the more feedback you can give us, so we tried out the colours, it really works well. We tried out the colours, it didn't work so well. We might be able to just tweak that a little bit for you, because you might be speaking the wrong words to the wrong person. But it's just practice. Okay, progress equals perfection. The more you can do this, the better you're going to become. So we're going to love you and leave you guys. Have a lovely Wednesday evening. We are back Friday night for our next training session, and we'll go from there. And tomorrow night is Tom's as well, 9 o'clock. Get as many people into your house tomorrow night to watch Tom's presentation. That is the new culture. Thursday night, home parties, get people around to watch the Zoom call, okay? It will change your business forever. Have a lovely evening, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.